Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And today I invited a special guest for this episode. It's somebody that is not really coming from a medical device industry. He is more on the side of the hospital, so he's buying medical devices. And it's Stefan Krojer from the Johanniter Hospital, so he's the head of strategic procurement. So Stefan, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Yeah, hi Munir. Thank you very much.
So great. So Stefan, as we discussed, so you are working at the hospital. You are buying our products or products from manufacturers. So the topic of today will be more about a view of your side related to medical devices, your side also related to the medical device regulation and in vitro diagnostic regulation, and what hospitals are doing actually to be prepared maybe for that or for this tsunami, or maybe there is already something happening now. So, but before that, please, can you introduce yourself and to the audience so that they have a better understanding of what you are doing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my name is Stefan Krojer. I'm from Berlin. I'm the head of strategic procurement of a mid-sized German hospital group. We got 8 acute hospitals and 4 rehab hospitals and 100 homes of elderly people. And yes, I'm in that function until the 13th of September. So in October, I go outside the hospital because there's so much interesting topics right now in the healthcare industry. So yeah, I do my own project. I will advance the Future Hospital project. It's a community and a blog for hospital procurement people and supply chain people as well in healthcare. We want to advance healthcare through a good partnership with every stakeholders and want to improve supply chain excellence.
So I see the logo behind you. Is it the logo of your project?
Oh, it's here. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. For those that are on YouTube, they can see that. So for those that are on the audio podcast, please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And also you can see me and Stefan talking together, and you can see the logo of the office project.
Okay.
So right. Stefan, let's talk now about the situation for hospitals. I remember once we discussed on LinkedIn about that, and it's why I tried to invite you and so that you can help us to really understand the view of the hospitals related to the medical device regulation and standards. And for that, you told me that there are a lot of difficulties actually. And I wanted you to just explain to the audience what is happening actually at the hospitals and how it's really impacting the work of the healthcare professionals.
Yes. Yeah, everybody knows that the MDR is coming in May next year, but we recognize since the last month the increasing of supply disruption or supply chain bottlenecks. And that is, several reasons impacts our function and our work, because we have to explore second, third sources of suppliers. We have to fix the bottlenecks, to streamline the process that the patients can operate it more. And so we recognize that there almost 1 or 2 disruption per month.
Okay.
And for 2 years ago, there was no disruption. And so we think not just the MDR, we think that the production from the manufacturers and retail manufacturers goes more and more east. Of course, China, the supply chains are bigger it's more danger that something goes wrong. There are more retailers, in my opinion, and that's just a few things that the supply chain is going more unstable.
So actually it means that you are trying maybe to buy some products and it takes more time for you to get them, or you try to buy some products and maybe they say to you that it's not available anymore, or these kind of things. And I suppose that you are upset, if I can say, of that, because you cannot buy them. But I suppose maybe also healthcare professionals are also not really happy to not be able to use products, or is it the actual situation?
Yeah, it's because the suppliers can't deliver anymore. Yeah, they say the next day, today they can deliver, and tomorrow not anymore, because there some certifications are most is sterile goods, or some production things went wrong, or the causing thing, or the Begründung in Germany. I don't know
the reason.
The reason why is it's not really clearly. So we got a notification per mail or per fax or whatever, and you have to act because you have to check your stock, how many of that items are in the surgery room or in your bigger in your boring house, and you talk to the supplier. They can tell you how long does the supply chain bottleneck go, so where it's fixed. So it's difficult. So you try to fix it with a second, third, or fourth supplier. You have to negotiate pretty fast, and you have to qualify the new supplier to get the data, the master data, to put it in your ERP system to make some orders. So that's a lot of effort, and I would say that just several hours it takes to fix that effort.
So mainly here, as we discussed, it's the current situation. So it's the situation that you are experiencing every day or every week. What do you think will happen when we'll have the MDR that is, or the IVDR that will be in place? Do you see some changes about that?
Yes. When I see right now, they're increasing the supply chain bottlenecks, and when I'm looking forward to the May next year, well, I think it could be terrible, but it could be very, very terrible, or just terrible, or not so terrible. Nobody knows that, and that's really dangerous, I think, because the consequences that this hospital will buy a lot of products to have a high stock, and a huge amount of the products, and that's pretty expensive. The products are expiring, and the hospitals don't have much money, so that's really a big problem. And I talked to a lot of medical suppliers, also in Tuttlingen, that's a big medical valley, you know.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of mid-sized or small companies. They told me that maybe almost 30% of the companies are at risk. And some companies say, under that conditions, maybe I will give up. So nobody knows what's coming, tsunami or not. And I think when you know the notified bodies, I think when I'm right informed, they can choose which products they want to regulate or to certificate. And that could be that some specific products where they don't have much experience or knowledge, or they just don't want to manage that, they fall under the grid. Or what about rare diseases and that things? So
it's mainly that notified bodies have to have the expertise to go to audit some manufacturers. So they have to know some products, or the products that will be accrediting, qualifying. So if the notified body does not have the experience with some products, or does not have the people at their company to audit the companies that are specialized, like for active medical devices, or for surgical instruments, or for electronic sterilizator, etc. If they have no qualification about that, it can be really difficult for them to go and audit those companies. So it's mainly the potential situation. Actually, as of today, so as we record of today this episode, we just learned about the 5th notified body that is now accredited, and it's a German one. So it's a TÜV Rheinland. We are 5 now, but it's still not enough. But at the end, more notified bodies will be available. More it will be possible, if I can say, to certify a lot of manufacturers, and more also there will be a variety of knowledge and variety of experience at the notified bodies, who can then qualify more types of products. Because you are right, maybe there will be some products where there will be no notified body qualified for it, or notified bodies that are qualified for it, but they have so many customers that it will take a long time, if I can say, on the flow or on the workflow to get certified. So it can be really dangerous for them. But what is interesting, what you said, is about the fact that some manufacturers also mention that they can give up because it's too tough. So they really mentioned that to you, or they also told you that we will not deliver that anymore because we don't want to move it to the next certification?
Yes, it's exactly. It's too expensive for them to, because of the stuff and the effort, and they think they want to quit their company, or they want to reduce their product portfolio. That two things will gonna happen there, I think.
Yeah, it's something that we are advising also some manufacturers, some medical device manufacturers, to reduce the portfolio. So I had an episode with Maurizio Zuppo, who is from CARAD on the IVDR. And he mentioned, he created a word, if I can say, said, should some of those products be IVDRized? So it means that should they go through the IVDR regulation? And I think it's the same for MDR. Maybe there are some products that it's not worth to go through the MDR because they are at the end of their life cycle. So it's something that manufacturers should think about first before really to move to that, because you're right, it can be expensive to build a complete technical file for a product that maybe will be lasting only 2 years or 3 years. So it's really important.
Yes.
Okay, just another question. So as now you are on the side of the hospital, so what is some advice that you are now wanting to share, if I can say, with other hospitals, maybe not only Germany, but all hospitals all over the world, so that they can maybe survive to it or be prepared to this kind of situation?
Yes. So every risk or change is something, a chance inside. So I think it's a chance to rethink or think about your portfolio. Do you have too much different products for the same operation or for the same disease or treatment? Because that has an impact of the whole supply chain. It's more orders, it's more invoices, it's more storage place, shelf place, and it's a really big chance.
So it's mainly what you are talking now about portfolio at the hospital. So it's mainly, for example, let's take an example. You have a surgery for a knee surgery, so orthopedic surgery, and you are buying from one manufacturer this set of tools. With this implant, and maybe another surgeon wants this set of tools because he was trained on this other one. So you have maybe 3 or 4 set of tools at the same hospital because you have maybe 3 or 4 surgeons that were trained on different methods. Is it that?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's a chance. When we are a hospital group, and then we got 8 hospitals, and we got 4 implant suppliers for the knees. And maybe one supplier says, I don't offer this product anymore. This was too rare product, but just you hospital ordered it. And then the physician comes to me and say, oh, they can't deliver anymore. So, okay, we can go to one supplier for all group or 2 suppliers. That could be really a good chance. Or maybe rethink, what do you have in your knee replacement, in your operation set, so much amount of products? Do you need I don't know the English word, the round drainage? Do you need a special item really for this operation, or it's just nice to have? And go in the discussion. Is it nice to have or not? Go to the discussion with the physicians and nurses, and then it has not the impact in the outcome or the length of stay or some other KPIs. Then put it out. So you don't have to order it anymore, and it's not even a benefit for the patient. So it's really, I think, a chance. And the other thing you can do is to think about segmentation of your suppliers, your categories, and your items to your master data management, also to qualify your data. So, for example, you have knee item, and then is it what risk medical device risk class?
Okay.
is it? Or a knife in the surgery? Is it sterilization, goes through sterilization, what risk class it is? Is it more impacted by the MDR because of the class 1R, or you have to add this information to your master data management tool, because then you can track if there are supply chain bottlenecks impacted this special product, and you make some kind of strategy, and then you can control, is it really so that's going what you thought about that, and you can improve your stock management. As I said, a lot of hospitals don't know which items are right now in your operating room, and there are a lot of hospitals are working on a real data tracking system because of RFID or NFC or technology, which gives you the opportunity where you know what is lying in your shelf in your operating room. And
yeah, and it's clear what you are talking about traceability is interesting, because with the new medical device regulation or IVDR, you have also to have the UDI code now, so the unique device identifier. So it's kind of a challenge for some manufacturers to implement that. But now when I have you in front of me, I say, oh, maybe it's also a challenge for some hospitals to implement the tools to read that and to record that. Yeah,
absolutely. Because yes, MDR, UDI, you have to track and trace what implants goes in your patient. For example, the screws have to re-sterilize or has to single packed in a single unit, and so the process, the structure, the IT has to adapt to this new regulatories. And the last thing is, of course, you can identify maybe new supplier resources. Maybe the global resourcing thing is coming up. So maybe Alibaba is interesting.
Okay.
But as you said before in another call, you're definitely right. How can you be sure that this product has a CE certification, has a high quality product, and this is really a challenge.
Yeah, it's clear. So it's something that we know that we got a lot of product coming from outside Europe, and there are some requirements for manufacturer outside Europe, for example, to have an authorized representative, to have a CE mark, also to have a quality management system, etc., etc. So there are a lot of things, and what is important is also for hospitals, when they are acquiring those products or buying those products, they know that they can say yes, they are cleared, everything is fine, they are CE marked, they have the supplier is qualified, everything is okay. So then we can go on the right way and get compliant product at our hospitals. Just something now, though, we discussed about a lot of things that are coming in the situation with the hospitals. And once, when we discussed before, we talked about another project that you are working on now. So it's kind of a platform that you are trying to develop with a startup. So can you tell us more about that and how it can help hospitals or manufacturers also?
Yes. I'm in contact with the startup because I think it's good that innovation is coming to the procurement function to improve the procurement process, to streamline the processes, the strategic procurement process and the operational tactical processes. In this cooperation or in this communication, I told them from the supply chain bottlenecks are increasing and it's a good problem. And I started with the Kanban board, cloud-based Kanban board. It's called Trello. Trello, a lot of people knows that cloud-based Kanban system. And there I invited 8 or 10 procurement managers from Germany, Swiss, and Austria, and they put in their supply chain bottleneck notifications, and then so we collaborated and communicated about this board. But that was the first move, and then I talked to the startup, and then they said, "Oh, that's very interesting. That could be a huge problem. Is it really a huge problem? They talked to other procurement manager and they said, yes, this is really a big thing that takes a lot of effort to our daily business. And then they decided to program agile solution. They make a minimal valuable product, and that showed us 3 procurement manager. We developed it 3 times, and yes, it's launching in 2 months, and it's an online service, some kind of speed dating for hospital buyers and suppliers.
Okay.
So when the buyer has the notification from the supplier that some product is not cannot deliver anymore, he logs in at the platform and he types in the missing product. There's a product database behind that, and maybe he finds his item, for example, a stapler. Then he clicks, is this the right article, and then yes, it's in the platform. And the suppliers who get a notification then are registered. I can go to the platform, see what products are missing, in what region, for example, in Berlin, in North Rhine-Westphalia, as in which region is something missing, not the name of the hospital. And then they can say, yes, I'm a supplier of this kind of product as well. I can offer a substitute, and he can type it in the portal, and then the hospital gets the information, and he can look at the offer and says, yeah, that could fit, and let's have a call, or let's have a negotiation, and so they can rapidly fix that supply chain bottleneck.
No, it's great. I think it's really matching with the topic of today. You miss some products, then you just send a message on the platform saying, "Hey, I missed this product," and everybody is looking and say, "Oh, I can provide that to you or not," which is great. So it's a platform that will be open for hospitals and suppliers, as you've said. So suppliers has to go there and to log in, and then they have to check each time there is something missing. Is it something actually for only the German region, or it's something for other regions?
Yeah, yes, I think we start in the end of October, and this is I think it's not just a German problem or Austrian problem and not a European problem. It's a worldwide problem, of course, but the MDR, of course, a European problem. But so we start with a few hospitals, of course. Then we can be sure that the platform is good, the process is good for the hospitals and the supplier. Then it could be scaled up, of course, to any language, but we start with German and English. And the hospitals can view the supply chain bottlenecks for medical devices on the online platform, so that they know what impact could come in the next week, because the hospital around the corner is struggling with something, and then they can report themselves. So they can just look, monitoring something, or put something inside, and the suppliers are given the opportunity to help the hospitals and offer this alternative product. So because today they just make a phone call or talk to other hospitals, and I think that's really inefficiency process. So in this case, the bottlenecks can be resolved quickly and more efficiency. So it's a European approach.
And how is called now this marketplace?
Yeah, and the startup which we co-created, this thing is called Xatena.
Okay.
It's a Swiss located in Zurich startup. Yes, this is the app in the platform, and this app is called disruptions or supply chain bottlenecks. In German, the word is just Lieferengpass. But you can use just this app. This app is for free. You have to register that your basic information is inside, but that you can watch for free. The hospital can transact for free, of course. That's important that many hospitals are using this thing, and it's open to everybody.
Okay, so Xatena is developing that from Switzerland, so made in Switzerland. And mainly, so if you are a medical device manufacturer or supplier and want to also be part of this marketplace, I will put the link of this application on the show notes. So you just have to go there and to register yourself. And then if you are not a sales rep, but you have a sales rep on your company, so don't hesitate also to share this episode with him so that he can also see the benefit that it can be for that. And at the end, the objective is really to help hospitals to have no disruptions, to have the right products with the right people, and then to avoid to have this situation where a patient is waiting for a product and he cannot get that because of maybe some regulation that avoid that, or some manufacturers that are giving up, etc., etc. So let's see if this is working. So I really encourage you to go and to try this platform. So Stefan, where people can follow up with you? So do you have a special place where we can hang up with you?
Yes, of course. So my project, Future Hospital Procurement, got a website. It's called hospitalprocurement.info.
Okay.
But I'm hanging around, of course, in LinkedIn very much. So you can add me on LinkedIn, and you can communicate with me about LinkedIn. So I give you in about, I would say, 15 minutes an answer.
Okay.
No, just kidding. But I like very much. LinkedIn is a really cool tool. So yes.
Great. So yeah, we all like LinkedIn because it's really the place where we are meeting, we are discussing. I like it also for the chat. So I have a lot of people contacting me and chatting with me. So for me also, don't hesitate to contact me on LinkedIn and to connect with me. I'm really happy to discuss with you. If you have also some question, would be also great for me. So looking forward to it. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, to subscribe to the YouTube channel also, because it's helping me. And please provide me a review on the Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or Spotify. Just go there and try just to make a review rating. If you can put a 5-star, could be great for me. So thank you for that. And I hope really this will help me for this episode. Okay, so Stefan, so really thank you for your time. Thank you for all the information provided. I hope that your new adventure will work very well. And I hope also that a lot of people will go and go to your platform. So to the platform, as I said, I will put everything on the show notes.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important that we communicate the two sides, the suppliers and the buyers, to understand more each other, and yes, to fix partnership, the problems we have. So thank you very much for this audience and your podcast.
No problem. So Stefan, I wish you a nice day then.
Thank you. Bye, Monia.